Diet Coke versus Coke Zero. What's the real difference? Healthier choice? What sets Diet Coke apart from Coke Zero? For many of us, enjoying a Coke is a delightful experience. Whether it's served chilled on a scorching summer afternoon, paired with a juicy burger and crispy fries during lunch, or enjoyed alongside a bucket of buttery popcorn at the movies. This fizzy drink has a unique way of satisfying our cravings. However, it's important to recognize that no one truly believes that drinking cola is a healthy choice. Among the various offerings from Coca-Cola, which include classic, diet, zero sugar, and flavored options like cherry Coke and vanilla Coke, one of these choices may be more beneficial for your health than the others. In this article, we will explore the differences and similarities between the most popular Coca-Cola varieties, as well as identify which options are likely to align better with your health objectives over time. Understanding Coca-Cola. What's the difference between Coca-Cola and Coke? Coca-Cola is not just a soft drink, it represents a vast global brand empire. Established in 1886 in Atlanta, this company has evolved into the largest beverage corporation in the world, featuring over 200 well-known brands. Alongside its flagship cola, Coca-Cola also owns popular beverages such as Sprite, Fanta, Powerade, Minute Maid, and even the bottled water brand Dasani. The flagship product, Coca-Cola Classic, commonly referred to as Coke, is a carbonated soft drink primarily composed of carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, or cane sugar in certain regions, caramel coloring, phosphoric acid, caffeine, and unspecified natural flavors, as indicated on its nutrition label. Additionally, Cherry Coke and Vanilla Coke incorporate cherry or vanilla-flavored syrup into their recipes. Thanks to its sweetness, unique flavor, caffeine content, and effervescence, Classic Coke has become one of the most widely consumed beverages globally. However, its high sugar content has made it a frequent target for health experts. Caroline Suzy, a registered dietitian and national spokesperson for the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, states, regular sodas are one of the leading sources of added sugars in the American diet. A single 20-ounce bottle of Classic Coke contains an astonishing 65 grams of added sugars, which is approximately 130% of the recommended daily limit. In response to rising concerns about sugar consumption, Coca-Cola launched Diet Coke in 1982 and Coke Zero in 2005. In 2017, Coke Zero was rebranded as Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, although it is still commonly referred to as Coke Zero. Both options are sugar-free and utilize artificial sweeteners instead. However, they differ in their formulations. Diet Coke exclusively uses aspartame and has a distinct flavor, while Coke Zero combines aspartame with Acesulfame potassium and sometimes Stevia, resulting in a taste profile that some consumers believe is closer to that of Coca-Cola Classic. As explained by Christina Cook, a licensed nutritionist specializing in diabetes treatment and prevention. Is Diet Coke harmful to your health? While no dietitian, nutritionist, or physician would label either Diet Coke or Coke Zero as healthy, many would consider them to be healthier alternatives to regular soda. However, even though they eliminate added sugars, the artificial sweeteners they contain come with their own controversies. For example, in 2023, the World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer classified aspartame as possibly carcinogenic to humans, citing limited evidence linking high consumption to liver cancer in some studies. Nevertheless, major regulatory bodies, including the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, continue to regard aspartame as safe when consumed in moderation. The scientific debate, however, remains unresolved. Moreover, additional research has raised concerns that high consumption of artificial sweeteners may lead to increased appetite, disrupt gut bacteria, and even contribute to insulin resistance. Although these effects are generally subtle and vary significantly among individuals, they cast doubt on the assumption that diet soda aids in weight loss or is inherently better for overall health. On the other hand, the health risks associated with the high sugar content of Classic, Cherry, and Vanilla Coke are more straightforward. Excessive sugar intake is strongly linked to obesity, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, and heart disease. Regardless of the variety, Susie emphasizes that soda provides zero essential nutrients and often replaces healthier beverage options like water, milk, or unsweetened tea. Which Coke is the healthiest choice? If you're trying to decide among these less than ideal options, Coke Zero Sugar is likely the healthiest choice, but only by a narrow margin. This is primarily because Classic Coke, along with its flavored cherry and vanilla varieties, is not only packed with added sugars, but also contains a significant number of empty calories. A 20-ounce bottle of Classic Coke has around 240 calories, energy that is quickly expended without providing fiber or other nutrients, often resulting in glucose spikes, sugar crashes, and weight gain. Both Diet Coke and Coke Zero Sugar avoid these issues by being calorie and sugar-free. That alone makes them better choices, Cook asserts. Since both beverages contain the same amount of aspartame, the risks associated with artificial sweeteners are comparable for either option. Coke Zero does have a slight advantage due to its lower caffeine content, 34 milligrams per 12-ounce can compared to 46 milligrams in Diet Coke. While moderate caffeine consumption is generally considered safe, excessive intake can lead to anxiety, disrupted sleep, and increased heart rate and blood pressure. Despite this minor edge, either Diet Coke or Coke Zero is likely a wiser choice than the classic or flavored varieties. For those looking to cut down on added sugar, particularly for weight management or diabetes, diet soda can be a reasonable alternative to regular soda, Susie notes. However, the quantity consumed may ultimately be more significant than the specific variety chosen. Instead of concentrating on which beverage option someone selects, I encourage people to consider how frequently they drink soda and how much they consume as part of their overall dietary habits, says Shelley Rail, a registered dietitian and nutritionist based in Albuquerque, New Mexico. A Coke or a Diet Coke occasionally isn't detrimental to health. It's the daily or excessive consumption that poses a greater concern. What are your thoughts? Do you believe that diet sodas are a healthier choice, or do you think the potential risks outweigh the benefits? Share your opinions in the comments below.